need to take down the champs. They need to take down the PCS2 winners, LG Divine, who in all their own right have just got probably an even slightly better squad than Buriram United, because not only did they win PCS2, but they are on track to go back to back unless they get caught in these remaining 9 matches. We go to match 16, the final match here for day number 4. It's Miramar once again.
Yeah, that's right. And that could be our first ever back-to-back PCS win, or a dual winner. We've only seen teams picking up 1 win before. This could be our first time to see a team get 2 wins in a row, or 2 wins at all. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Buriram can actually catch up and overtake LG Divine, and whether any other teams can put in their say and stop it from happening.
Well, this is, of course, not the end of the road necessarily. There is still plenty of games to go after this, but I mean, it goes without saying, Buriram would not want to see that lead extend. Elgin Bots, he's done it again! Oh, he's done it again! 2 games in a row for Elgin Bots, Edge.
This guy is actually insane. Getting these early picks that generally you don't get, and both times it's been with the M16, probably the least popular assault rifle in the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I agree with you, but obviously, wherever you land, you just got to pick up whatever, and you're going to have a few cheeky shots. Obviously, I think Elgin Bots has every right to have a try. Fergus as well, being lit up with the Iron Sights SKS. Angel Alliance, they certainly perform here on Miramar from start to finish. Fergus just making it to at least a bit of safety here, finds a gun of his own, M16, the gun of the hour. We do have phase number 1, goes north, right on top of LG Divine.
It's looking like another good game for LG Divine, and it's all up to whether teams can stop them from converting this game. And it looks like Day Trade has lost their ride as it slowly drives away down the hill, and Poochie and Noreen's stuck behind that rock after the revive.
Day Trade Gaming just continue to, unfortunately, not have the best PCS3 event. Down to the bottom 3 now as well. They just keep tumbling further and further. Angel Alliance, who were in the top 8, now in 10th, but they're not far away from getting back in the top 8. From Division X down to about From the Future, it's very, very close. That middle section, Norins has knocked down. Elgin Bots now is upgraded as well from the M16 to the Mini 14. And he's putting in work, lots of damage, but so far hasn't been rewarded with a kill.
Yeah, this is a very risky revive coming out for Day Traders. Evil Patrick and Elgin Bots are set up quite comfortably to really thwart anything that Day Trade tries to do now. They don't have the utility to really do anything, and they're wasting a lot of time coming into this first phase. They are in the circle, but this is just delaying every single movement they try and make, and really helping Angel Alliance have their good starts to games.
Certainly agree with you there. We have a look at Fury, which hasn't been the night for them. They have not been able to reduce the deficit that was 30 points. Also, it was actually 20 points starting tonight. So all it's done is really increase more than anything. Whereas Buriram have reduced it slightly, down to 18 points now. Looting Lost Leonas with Purple Mood. It's become a common occurrence here on Miramar. Of course, nothing has come from it in any of the games, really, and for good reason. I mean, Lost Leonas is the biggest city, and in terms of having 2 teams, it's not really an issue. One loots the west side, in this case it's Fury, and one will loot the east side, in this case it's Purple Mood. Elgin Bots, though, is committed to this. Absolutely committed.
I mean, at this point, I really don't blame him. If you're hitting these shots pretty consistently, you might as well just stick it out and try go for absolutely anything possible. As Noreen's, I think, M16 and a pan without a plan, stuck behind a rock, is just not ideal.
No, it's certainly not. Angel Alliance just kind of inside the circle as well, up towards the very top. Out to the west, there's not really too much of a hurry. The only thing is more so just getting the loot. I think at this point, you just got to leave and say, all right, fair enough, we got some damage, we don't really get much else out of that. You're definitely not going to look to push it, because then otherwise you go into something like Belmoth. I think Belmoth was just sitting there waiting, maybe in the event that Pugils and Norins do get pushed, that he's sitting there and would be able to get the refrag. So in the end, not much does come from it in terms of kills and deaths, but what does come from it is that both teams a little bit hindered in terms of loot.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for especially Day Trade, who has literally wasted 5.5 minutes just trying to get their one player back up and on the board. But, you know, you've still got 4 players alive, so it's not the worst result. As we see, majority of our teams have already made it into the circle. The center is getting a little bit congested. From the future, looks like they might be making this breach towards Jukesy, but Jukesy will just get in his buggy and opt to leave, not trying to lose a body early for Bay. They haven't had the best start, and
No.
this could be their momentum here. They could have a decent game now.
Bay needs to have a decent game now. Like they got no choice really at this point. The gap in terms of first is just humongous. It's 58 points with 8 games to play after this one. It needs to be reduced to below 50. But most importantly, you've got so many teams now around them that they're not even in the top 8 anymore. So hasn't quite been the best of nights, unfortunately, for Bay. We will actually be speaking to Loki's after this game, provided he wants to stick around. And we'll also be having a chat to Flood from Fury, get a few insights into how they've seen today's proceedings.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear from Flood, because they haven't had the best of nights. I mean, all things considered, I think they've had a pretty poor night, only just scoring over 25 points from their 3 games, which is very, very unlike Fury. So it'll be nice to get an insight from him and see what they're looking to do for the following weekend and see how they're looking to improve.
Sweet Soul, unfortunately, caught on the rotation. Monty and Bryn not really showing the best driving skills there. They do land the truck, though, in the end. Unfortunately, for Ferox, they've had one little... In fact, really 2 good games. Everything else has just been average or poor over the course of the entire season, that is, of course. Insight. Will he be able to find something here? Whether it's Dat Blue, whether it's Monty as well,
isn't
close
there,
by.
the way.
Okay, yeah, that's right. that bug is just the biggest tease. Insight will get the easy kill, though, onto Dat Blue, who had no idea of his surroundings. And a much-needed start to this game for Fury, just to get the wheels turning a bit. They're certainly capable of having like a 15-kill win. They get that, and the gap will certainly shrink.
Yeah, every point matters, and especially for Fury, who obviously has plans and was hoping to come out the victors of this PCS3. They were planning to win the last one, but just fell short on the last day. But they're going to need to pick up their pace if they want to really gain those points. They've got a lot of free space at the moment on the southern edge, with only Unicorn Cyber, who are close by. But from what we can see on the map, they've got everything free, and this could be a very big feed for them. If they get themselves in around that Hacienda del Patron area, they might be able to string together some more points.
Yeah, that's a really, really important position to get towards. San Martin as well will be a safe haven for teams coming in quite late, send it into the city. You got the mountain as well, just to the west of San Martin, which is where Magic Esports are going to be playing. Great spot to hold for them. So they're going to be quite fortunate with this circle at the moment as it stands here for phase number 2. But for the likes of like LG Divine, Bay, Buriram, from the future VTR, north of San Martin, I'm not sure how much they can really move from here. They've just sort of got to hope that for phase 3 it does shift a bit more in the northern direction.
Absolutely. I think if you're the likes of LG Divine,
Here we go.
too worried, but this might be worrying after you start hearing the cars pull up as Gen Foss
Uh,
does a little bit of stunt work.
okay. Yeah. Awesome. I want to go back over to Division X and LG Divine, which I'm almost as certain to is about to kick off. This is a pretty big one too, though, between Victim Rides and From the Future. Chibrit just looks inside of the door, does get a few shots to land onto Triple X. Division X, by the way, completely bailed from LG Divine. I can see it on the map. So that fight never actually happened. It didn't come to fruition, which is why we ended up sticking on VTR and From the Future, who have also quite evidently bailed as well. But Division X went back to where they came from, but it's not really in the circle. Long K got beaten up, but he's going to heal. Nothing came from it. No one died. No one got knocked. 4 up still for LG Divine. 4 up still for Division X. Still, only 2 players have died this game. Buriram's going to have a decent spot too here. South of water treatment, more so on the eastern side of the circle. A good feed for phase 3 on this position, and it could be 2 back-to-back games in a row. 2 good back-to-back games, I should say.
Yeah, that's right. Buriram have got themselves in some very, very strong positions right now. Depending on where this circle goes, it probably should center up or maybe head towards the water treatment area. And even if it does that, they've got so many options. They've got hillsides that they can play from. They've got really strong compounds that they're currently controlling. They've actually got 3 compounds in total, completely split out, just taking that greedy split for position.
Jun just copying a shot from Loki's. Hey, looking to finish strong. There's a lot of teams that are looking to finish strong. Kind of ironic that it's the bottom 2 teams that are missing a player each now. After the first 12 minutes, everyone else still fully equipped with 4 players up. It's always important to finish any night in a good fashion, Edge, but when there's obviously a week break between matches, if you have a bad game, that mental edge, where you just feel like, what a horrible night or what a bad game to end on, it can linger throughout the week.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you're a team that's having good games and you've got yourself some momentum towards the end, that can completely ruin all your momentum, all your confidence that you've built up. So even say Bay, they have this good last game, and then they go into the rest, and that is a big feed for the likes of Buriram and Fury. LG Divine are nowhere to be seen in this zone, so this will be a good game for the point catch up.
Yeah, but this is the litmus test as well, this match. You speak about LG Divine, you look at the first 7 games, Circle Fortune, now, and not just this game, but they've had a couple where they've had to really work for their positions and to fight early on, fight edge of circle, push in, get scrappy. They're more than capable of doing so. So when people call them out and they say, oh, LG Divine get fed, or they got radar or whatever, like all these things to basically say they're a team that gets lucky, well, they can definitely turn it on when they are in these unfortunate positions. And this is the test, though. They've got to show us once again, and Jun's on the kill feed once again, and that's an early kill. If they have to fight dirty early on, they're more than capable of doing so. Now they can push potentially onto the compound of Bay, which is not just in the circle, but also a team that's down to 3, and they know that. So it's a vulnerable compound that they can take. If they get it, they are inside of the circle, they win the fight, they get the kills. Talk about just taking it to the front here. Bay, are they ready for it? Juicy hanging on the side, does get a headshot, but he's knocked by Jay, and they had the numbers there. He was in a 2 versus 1 against himself there. Oh, Sophia with an aid onto Jun, though, but he does go down to the back to MC. Clean, clinical from LG Divine. They get the sweep onto Battle Arena Elites, who have just had probably their worst night of PCS through Apac.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal for Bay there. Unfortunately for them, as soon as they lost the first player from LG Divine, Nephahor went down at the exact same time. So it was quite an easy breach for LG Divine to take, in all honesty. And that gives LG Divine like such an opener into this game where you look at it before and they didn't have a hope in the world. And then this compound just opens up. And that's what all these good teams will do. They'll look for a knockout. And as soon as you've got that knockout, that's go time. It's time for a breach. You know that they're weak. They've got to revive their player. If they don't, they're a man down. So you've just got this big opening that you can capitalize on. And that's what LG Divine have done.
Yeah, and LG Divine's a team that favors position more than anything. And if you're not in the circle, the way to get that position is to breach. We've seen them breach phase 2 circles edge. They're more than happy to breach phase 3. They've done that. And if this was the phase 4 circle was to shift really far away from them again, don't be surprised to see them breach another team. They're a team that likes to breach more so than hug the edge of a circle and move slowly. They will just send it straight in. They'll back themselves in that close quarter combat fight, and typically they come out ahead. Dangerous team when they don't get fed, and dangerous when they do get fed. Phase number 4 is coming to the fruition, and Buriram, speaking of feeds, Edge, have just copped a massive feed. Look at that mini-map. They've got a 2-2 split, and I don't even know which one you really want to group up to, but I don't know if you can keep the 2-2 split.
That is an absolute 4-piece feed for a family there. And it looks like Buriram might be that they will be grouping up here. A good decision. They give up the compound. And this, again, might be a perfect opener. But they do lose Nordra from IQ 500 on the rotate. So losing one player from your double split there isn't the worst. You've still got 3 up in a very strong compound. But it just does make you that slight bit weaker going into the late game.
Over to Hacienda del Patron as Fury trying to just deal with the infiltrating Cerberus. Molotov is going to be successful. Lands onto Su Bang. Ronan's knocked over by Haisaki. Smoke will come out from insight. Fury have got to start winning these fights. Ferox are out in 15th position. Rain Bryn eliminated by Kamals and Haisaki. Unfortunately for Ferox, still stuck on 49 points, unable to crack 50. Hopefully they can turn things around next weekend, finish strongly. As the kill feed is lighting up to no surprise at all when you consider we've had like, what, 3 shifts in a row. Everyone's going back and forth and left and right, constantly on the move. But it's such a big thing. Going back to Nordra getting killed by Division X. If Buriram had been able to get all 4 members to that compound versus now the 3, it just changes this game and potentially where it may end. Genfos, though, catches Mip and Zuzu. Might get more here as well. No, just goes for the flush. Spots Triple X over on the roof. Knows that Gypsy Danger is in the compound close. Angel Alliance doing their Miramar things, as they usually do. Elgin Bots just loves it here on Miramar. Slap the sunscreen on and go to town. They're 87 points. They leapfrog Bay. Unfortunately, onto 10th position. That may not be where they have finished at the end of the night either. Gemfall's doing as much as he can, but he's the solo here.
Yeah, that's right. VTR and FTF seemingly always butting heads, and what a beautiful knock. But little does he know that Hexagon isn't even in the compound, so Genfos could just walk straight in and finish off the kills here. But
I think he does know, because he's getting shot by Hexagon, so he really has to just push forward, get the flush. The shot's though from Hexagon, headshot. What a save! And Triple X will get revived as well.
As long as he can get there quick enough, it does seem like he will be able to, but Evil Patrick is on the outskirts here. Slowsy, though, picking up the kill onto, or the knockout onto Mad Dog. Elgin Bots, the last one left in this position. The nades come out, will do a lot of damage, and will take down Elgin Bots. And as well, that Mirado just went absolutely flying, so it's all left up to the one or two players now for Angel Alliance.
Yeah, 2 players, Evil Patrick and Nan, but they're split heavily. Nan's pushed over to Hacienda. Speaking of pushing, Fury going to push here on against Cerberus. Basil holding close. Flash goes out, then just ducks the other way, expecting the push. Unfortunately, though, it's all about timing, and the timing was against him there. Insight will catch his backside. That should be the 2nd kill now for Fury, and it is. Basil's just been blown up by Subang. That's not ideal for Cerberus. And now Flood with the knock onto Haisaki. Fury just getting rolling here. Working out the kinks here tonight to finish off strongly. 3 kills, 4 players still up. It's going to be very difficult to overtake Buriram as well, considering the circle. Buriram aren't going to be going out early here. And of course, LG Divine. 2-2 split, 2 are in. That's JN and Levi's here at the crate. They can pick up the MK14 along with the level 3 helmet and the military vest. But Jun and Namc not in this circle, and they have to move in 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. And as we see here from Flood from Fury, he's in a very good high ground spot on the top of Hacienda, trying to hold out the back from anyone trying to push in. The rest of the team has been called back because they have a pretty good feeling that there is a team pushing around. Sharper do have the lower ridges to play with, so not going to be too much of a threat right now, but could hinder Fury as they try and push out. Sorry, and we also have Angel Alliance Nam in the background as well, trying to be a pest.
Just judging by the teams that have been eliminated, by the way, I don't think much movement will take place for Magic, Esport, Bay, VTR, and From the Future. The 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th should be very much locked in for tonight. Good news for Angel Alliance as well. They've done enough to get into the top 8 for the end of this weekend. So even if they do go out here, which they certainly will, they will finish in 8th spot. Nan, fortunately, is going to be mollied out of the guard tower. Fury have just got to make sure that Ronan doesn't get knocked there, because if he gets knocked and flushed, they will be very unhappy. Fortunately, they've got every angle covered. 4 kills for Fury. Angel Alliance did pick up quite a few kills to start the game. They will end in 8th position. 2 weekends gone, 1 to go. Looking good for the Philippines team. Day Trade will clean up Unicorn Cyber. So at least Ferox can rest easy. They're not going to be overtaken by Unicorn. Not just yet. No kills yet for Buriram, though. But they should get placement points pretty heftily.
Yeah, that's right. Godmia does get knocked out here, but there shouldn't be able to be a flush come out as LG Divine starts to put the pressure onto Purple Mood. Starting off with that knock, and Nade comes in return, and Long K will get a knockout onto NMC. So trades coming out left, right, and center right now, and nothing to be sort of happening. But Division X with this circle needs to push out onto LG Divine. Fergus is starting to push right now, getting up close. LG Divine might get pincered in between both Purple Mood and Division X.
Yeah, if we go down to the south there, I think LG Divine are going to get pincered. They almost have to just push forward onto Purple Mood, try and get that wipe very early. Fury, they're rolling. They've got 4 kills. They're going to need to sweep the south side here, so hopefully for them, their gunplay is perfect, because if they can just wipe out the teams down south, gives them a good avenue potentially of finding maybe a win, and a high kill win at 1 at that. Jun with the knock on the boss end, but they did get traded. NamC went down. There's a second one as well, but Los Santos is also going to be knocked. There's only one up for Purple Mood. This has gone horribly wrong for them. It's only just moments that's left. LG Divine, of course, wounded, heavily wounded. The Pincer, too strong. They are going to be eliminated just prior to the placement points, and that's going to be good news for Buriram and for Fury, especially considering that both of those two teams, 3 and 4 players alive respectively. Division X as well, leapfrogging Sharper Esport into the top 4. And look at that, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, all still alive, to just keep the pressure onto LG Divine, who didn't really gain much this game. In fact, only the 4 points. It's still points, but it's only 4.
That's right. And this is kind of worst case scenario for LG Divine, having all these teams in. But for the likes of Fury, it might be a little bit of a rough end game here, as they've got not much to play for. They've got to make this push towards Hydra. They have Buriram in the center of the circle that will be potentially trying to hold them out. So all this utility is going to be used on their journey towards this little single building that they absolutely must take now.
Yeah, and if they can win this quickly and comfortably against Hydra Gaming, there's a lot of supplies that they can pick up, because Hydra haven't really been in too many fights. They've only got the 1 kill. They're all stuck in that little building, but they do have 4 alive. I don't know what the nade utility numbers are like for Fury, but I would suspect if they had a strong amount of nades, they would have just ran over and started bombarding that little building. That building's in, by the way, so it is a very, very good building to try and take for Fury's sake. Simon has started to move for Hydra, so he's pushed back. Just moments just underneath this Murado. 20 seconds until phase 7. Buriram haven't really pushed out yet, looking to find kills. Fury waiting until the last seconds. They're in. That current position is in the circle, but for how much longer is the question?
Yeah, they're going to need to make that push towards Hydra Gaming, whether they get a knock, whether they get a nade in the window, or absolutely anything here. It's their next goal, and it looks like they're starting to make that move for it, as they are all pushing very close. Insight up on the doorstep. The Molotov comes out from Flood. It's going to be a good Molotov. There's no room for movement in this building. They're looking to get on top of couches, on top of chairs, absolutely anything they can possible. And they're actually pushing Mickey back out of the building as well. Flashes
Mickey's
coming
nowhere
out.
near this building. Mickey and Simon are in the center of the zone. So it's only the two here for Hydra Gaming. They sent two away to get better position, and I think it's maybe going to backfire here. Now, Just Moments was eliminated. Eighth place for Purple Mood. 95 points, tied with Cerberus at the moment. Oh, sorry, 7th place technically. Rabbit's going to get revived here, but I don't know. Oh, no. Who threw that one?
I think that might have been Insight there, but I think the decision from Hydra Gaming here is absolutely perfect. They couldn't have all 4 people stacked up in this building. It's just too much of a death trap. As we see Waikiki Mukau solo push in and take down both Rabbit and Tuan. So perfect push from Fury. They've got a position in the zone. They're getting peppered from everywhere. And Sixax has actually picked up Simon T in the middle of the map. So Hydra Gaming's all down to 1 player now.
Yeah, just Mickey that's left. The compound that Fury have just pushed into, by the way, still inside of the circle, but right on the very edge. 8 kills for Division X. They continue to climb and try and push away from Sharper Esports, who still have 6 sacks alive. Subang up close with the Grozer, has no health left here. 2 up for Cerberus. Fergus pushes out from the smoke, gets the knock, gets the elimination, but Cow getting involved as well with the knock on the Belmont. It's finished off by Ronan. Another kill for Fury. They've got 8. They are making things happen here for the final game of the night, the final game of the weekend, as Cerberus are out in 6. We're down to the final 5 teams. Fury have also reduced the gap to just 8 against Buriram as well. 26 points is now the gap for them against LG Divine. A massive final game. Can they capitalize, though, and go all the way and get the win from this position? It's going to be tough.
It absolutely will be. They've got a couple of hay bales and whatnot to play in the field, but unless they've got a heap of utility on the people that they've killed in that building, I really don't see how likely it is them getting out, especially with Division X now just targeting them, stuck inside that building. Circle comes out. They're going to need to make a push, and it's going to be so rough with the likes of Hydra Gaming, Division X, and Daytrade all just focusing in on them.
They need to get to Mickey. I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, you can see how large that tractor really is. That's still in. If you can get to that position, you can kind of play around that. You can keep the sight lines of Buriram at bay, obviously, which is why Mickey's still alive. I don't think they're going to get all 4 to that position. You can see the smoke trail. But even if they get 2 to that tractor, they can still be a threat to win this game. Mickey obviously is kind of expecting some company very, very soon. Division X also looking to push, put the pressure, not allow such an easy spot. The thing is, Fury may not be aware that Mickey is here. But Fury, Insight just goes prone, spots him immediately. If they didn't know, they definitely knew this time. They probably did know from earlier. Taking some shots from the building. Flood is going to be eliminated by Fergus. What a Molotov, though. Division X, surely from here, should be able to deal with Fury. It's been a good final game, but I don't think that chicken dinner is going to be theirs. Insight stays alive. First aid kit is off, and he's the solo that's left now, as Division X have done wonders here from the north side of the circle.
Yeah, it's not looking very good for Insight here, as he is getting peppered from behind by IQ 500. He has actually got another placement point, as the last remaining player from Daytrade has been taken out, as Insight's Yoga is really paying off at the moment. We're left down to our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th team on the leaderboard, so these points make it very, very scary for LG Divine. And look at how close Buriram is right now.
Well, even Division X, right? It's only a 32-point gap for Division X. They're certainly in the conversation now. They've entered the fray. This is not just the top 3 race anymore. Division X rightfully are now obviously in the conversation here, regardless of what happens from here. 14 kills. They have just been on a tear. Obviously, they actually went out in second last in the previous game with no kills. They had a 15-kill win at the end of last night. Potentially maybe something similar to that. The biggest downside, I think, in this game is the fact that Buriram haven't really found kills. Insight, though, at the red track, Trucker will get Fergus. Division X might just go out here in 3rd. They do! Oh, between Insight and Buriram, they've been pincered. Insight then dies immediately, and Buriram get a 3-kill win. What a whopping game from Buriram. They couldn't stop getting kills.
That is an absolute ripper from our second to fourth teams there. Absolutely brilliant to bring back those points there. Fury did everything they needed to get some points. They got those placement points as well. And Buriram just sat still and took the feed as it came and got themselves yet another chicken dinner.
I've got to say,